Are you ready?
Let's give it a shot.
Welcome to the Wrap, everybody. Well, I'd say it was April, but that'd be an April Fool's joke because it's only March 31st today, but it's not got close.
No, but I tell you what, the Twins, I just got done watching them.
You watched?
Well, it's like one of the things, supposedly the spring comes and all hope comes anew. Well, this comes old. This is, I can see right now this might be a long season.
The scary part was, I'll say this, last Thursday morning, opening day, I looked on my phone and I said, odds of Twins winning the AL Central or something.
Yeah.
And they were the odds-on favorite to win the AL Central on all 5 of the Vegas booking places that I could find. All 5 of them.
Well, if you can do that without hitting the baseball, without pitching the baseball, and without catching, well,
Did they do all right fielding?
And I think it's C+. But I'll tell you what, they really just, they seem to be dead in the water already, and it's only the 4th game.
Played 4 games, they're 0-4, lost 9-0 to the Chicago White Sox, who were not even close to being it wasn't even close to them not being the worst team in the American League last year. And like I just got done telling somebody, that was against their 4th best pitcher, and we were being no-hit through 5 or 6 innings. I'm alarmed. I'm shocked. Not that the Cardinals blew them out of the water on Thursday, Saturday, along the way.
Thursday, Saturday, yeah.
Thursday, it was a 4-3 ball game, and they hit a home run in the 8th inning to make it 5-3. We were right there. Saturday wasn't awful, but Sunday and Monday, I don't know. I'll say it this way. Rocco Baldelli better figure it out, or he won't be the manager by the end of the week.
It won't last long, and I'm not sure just how long they can survive on a supposedly good pitching staff. Joe Ryan pitched himself a pretty nice game. He went 5.5 innings, and he gave up 5 hits, but he was pitching well, and I thought, well, maybe they'll settle into something.
Pablo Lopez did exactly what he always does. Had a tough first inning, and then looked pretty good. Well, tough first and second inning, and then looked tough. But he always gives up a run in the first inning, and just like he's got to do that so that he gets the juices flowing or something. I don't know.
My buddy Johan Duran, he is.
Has he gotten to pitch yet? There's no reason.
He got pitched He pitched the other day, and he was throwing them all over the place at 97 miles an hour, but nowhere near the strike zone.
Okay.
And so it was. He was looking a little bit like LaRue in we were talking about Hurricane LaRue or Nuke LaRue.
In Bull Durham?
In Bull Durham. He was just, he didn't put out the thing. But anyway, they got a ways to go.
It's 158 games left. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater here, but this is not the way it was expected to go.
And Houston's coming to town. And they used to be, as I recall, pretty good, probably still are. And it's going to be about 35 to 40 degrees in there. They started the season a little bit too early. They always do in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Anyway, as long as we're on this baseball subject,
okay.
I caught a bit of the Yankees versus Brewers first game.
Are the Brewers in the same place that the Twins are? You're wondering if their whole season's done?
Well, the first pitch to the first hitter was a homer. The first pitch to the second hitter was a homer, and then Aaron Judge came up and they pitched another pitch to him, and that was 3 consecutive homers. That hadn't been done in a long time. And then a couple of outs later, a guy hit a 4th. They had 4 home runs in the first inning, and I can't remember the pitcher's name, but he used to pitch for the Yanks. So that was
he must tick them off.
Whatever it was.
They didn't like him very much.
No,
they knew too much about him.
They picked up 15 runs in 3 games, and if I was shooting my mouth off about the Yanks not having it anymore, boy, I'll tell you what.
So what's your assessment of the torpedo bat?
Well,
that a lot of this is being attributed to.
The guy that come up with this, the guy named Aaron Lienhardt. He's an MIT physicist, and this is where he come from. But he loves baseball, and so he goes over and he's designed a bat. in which the barrel is bigger, and yet there's a little bit more weight in the handle, so they can get a swing across. But everybody's taking a look at this, and I mean everybody.
So
and
why is it that the Yankees are the only ones with these torpedo bats, or at least that's the way the story goes?
Because Aaron Lanehart did it for the Yankees.
So how do you
designed this bat for the Yankees.
So you make this bat,
Yeah.
and so I'm curious,
Yeah.
okay, because I don't have any details, and it seems that you do. So I'm gonna pose the question.
Yeah.
We've got this different type bat than what everybody else is using.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's legal.
It's got a bigger barrel.
Apparently, it meets the specifications. Then why isn't everybody using a bigger barrel in the first place?
Well,
is my
because
question.
I'm not sure basically designed. They had to redesign the handle and the mid barrel in order to get this done.
And this bat is made out of wood. It almost, the way they're talking about it, on the few things that I've read, it almost makes it sound like it's like they're making it. I mean, there's only so much you can do with when you shape a bat.
You
There's
know, you would think they did, but you know, it wasn't that many years ago they started digging out the head of the bat.
well, that's what everybody's starting to think. Do they have the bat rigged?
Can they do this? You know, I just know that there's going to be, and I mean all of baseball, not just the teams. All of baseball is going to be taking a look at this, and if the Yankees keep on hitting 15 home runs every 3 games, and they're using the torpedo bat, they're going to want to try to figure out if this makes a difference, and if it does, then either they're going to get rid of it or everybody's going to get it.
Well, okay, I'm gonna say it this way.
Yeah.
Everybody, like I said, I know nothing about this bat other than what I've heard about the torpedo bat. But if this bat is that lethal at hitting home runs, they're going to make it illegal, because this is not the game that Major League wants if they're hitting 5 home runs a game. I mean, they want runs scored, don't get me wrong, but they can't have pitchers. Obviously, the exit velocity of these balls is something to behold. If it's going this far off these bats, pretty soon it becomes a safety concern for the pitchers. That is it even fair for them to be standing 57 feet away when they get done pitching the ball, to have a ball coming out at them at that speed apparently on a more regular basis? So something's gonna
I'm going to
happen.
tell you, and kind of in correspondence with that, I watched the St. Louis Cardinals play 2 out of 3 games. What do St. Louis Cardinals do best? They play small ball. They're sitting around. They're stealing bases. Bunting,
Crazy.
Can you imagine that?
Craziness.
Bunting. Craziness. And they're advancing runners and bringing
Scoring
them
runs.
and scoring runs, and apparently they think that this wins ball games. I don't know, but I just thought, geez, a little spotlight here for small ball, because it's really fun to watch. The Cardinals have a couple of base runners that are zoom fast. And
the Twins apparently thought that they added some speed, but they couldn't get anybody on base to do it.
Yeah, well, and then I remember Billy Bean. You know, he says said to the guy, "I steal bases." He says, "No, I get you. I pay you to get on first, not to get tossed out at second." So we'll see what help. Oh, we've got anyway. So that's what kind of my baseball look. That being said, it took me a couple of days to figure out that indeed DirecTV does give me Twins baseball. I just had to find it on the rack, and then when I did, I was sorry that
Midco Sports also has a channel exclusively for the Twins, and
Twins TV they call it. Yeah. I'm not sure just how well that's going to work, but
well, being produced by Major League Baseball. Should be a good product. This is, I think, the wave of the future.
No, I'm going to tell you right now, the first thing that the Twins are going to have to do, I don't care television, no television contract, they got to hit the baseball, and they got to put some runs up, and they just really haven't even been close to that. So much for baseball. But
where would you like to move to
Aaron
next?
Lienhart, he's a good guy. He invented the bat.
Aaron Lienhart.
Yeah, Lienhart, and he's a physics professor at MIT before he became interested in inventing new baseball bats.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Where are we heading next?
You know, one of the things I watched last week was this young lady from Minnesota that plays for UConn, Paige Bokers. She was incredible, Tim. She came out the first half a little lackadaisical, and Gina was complaining about her. She doesn't shoot. And the first thing we did was when we were coaching the girls is make your teammate look good. She was attempting to get all of her teammates involved in the offense.
It's always been that way.
And she's always been that way. And I could see what she was trying to do. She was pausing up. Finally, she had no choice to grab the proverbial bull by the horns, and she started sinking stuff like you wouldn't believe. One shot from was across the street. It's just she just really kind of overwhelmed me. And I tell you, Caitlin Clark last year was tremendous and really a lot of fun to watch. She has nothing on Paige Bokers, and Paige is from Minnesota. So, but she's going to play again tonight at 8 o'clock against Southern Cal, and we'll see where that goes. But I'm not going to miss any more of her games.
Yeah, that'll be a dandy.
I won't even double screen it anymore. But she's really fantastic, and when you see that and you just think.
So I think I know who you're cheering for tonight. Is that
UConn all the way? Yeah, we'll go with Con all the way, and it's hard to do because, Minnesota went out and beat USC, and they're in the Big Ten and all like that. But the only thing I have against Paige is she didn't stay here in Minnesota, because if she'd have stayed here in Minnesota, they would be at this level of basketball. She is
that good?
And from what I understand, she's an incredible person. I mean, just really a nice woman. 6 feet tall, shoot, jump, rebound,
Dribble.
Pass
the ball.
She assists all over the place. But you watch her tonight, because it's going to be pretty good basketball.
Texas TCU is the other women's semifinal. Could be,
Texas
versus Texas.
Yeah.
So it should be a good one. South Carolina and UCLA are already into the Final Four. UCLA had to hang on and beat your favorite women's coach in her flowery jacket.
Every time I see her come to the court, and I say to Sue, you don't have an outfit like that, do you? And but I like her attitude. She reminds me of Beth Dutton from Yellowstone. She's kind of a nasty human being, but I like her anyway. A great coach.
Well, South Carolina's head coach is plenty snarly too.
Snarly too, and it's one of the things where I says, there was a time UConn ruled, Tennessee ruled, and then UConn ruled. Who's this South Carolina team? And they've been on the top block for quite a while, and they got a very good basketball team.
They do
run the court well, and they'll be a lot of fun to watch. So I see a UConn South Carolina pair up. I don't know, championship. That'd be fun.
Very well could be.
Yeah.
Gopher women are playing right now, I believe, against Florida in Indianapolis in the WBIT semifinals. I'm going to look at my phone to see if I've gotten a Twitter notification.
Well,
but
there's a couple of girls from Minnesota that are playing in this game. One for Minnesota and one for Florida, and a young Miss Battle. She's in there to battle, and I remember her and her brother. He had to take off on account of money to be made, but it's
Gophers are up 11-9.
Go Gophs.
Go Gophs. See what happens there, and we'll hopefully they can keep it going.
Yeah.
Do you remember this girl from Duluth Marshall 4 years ago, Gina Neepkins?
I do remember that name. Yeah.
She could light it up. Went to Utah for 4 years. She's entered the portal. You want to know where she's rumored to be heading?
Where is this?
Minnesota is a possible destination, I'm hearing. I don't know.
So what, she'd come over as a senior?
As a graduate, as a fifth grad student.
Graduate.
Just saying, that's what the rumor is. I don't know if it's true, but she has announced she's leaving Utah. That's a for sure.
I'm going to tell you right now, Minnesota women's Gophers basketball, they've been pumped and growing all year long. You can see it. They took a couple of injuries, hurt them, didn't stop. they're back in the picture again. They're playing good basketball. They got outstanding coaching, and they got some pretty good kids playing for this team. So it's a matter of where the recruitment goes, and you know, I mean, although you can't tell me, I love this portal. Yeah, I'm going to sign with this team. Well, I'm going to sign with this team. You know, it's just like coaches don't count on them till they walk in and ask for their equipment. Other than
And don't even then.
and even then.
How about the men?
Well, we could have just gone over on we could have just gone over off the automatic chart and pick all number. You know,
All the up.
and you know, and I mean, in all my brackets, I've got three in the finals. And you know why? Because in all three of the brackets, like a dummy, I picked Michigan State. And so the rest of
That
them...
wasn't a dumb move. That was a good move, I think. Because I had Michigan State as
Well,
well.
I too, but at least I should have given them... I should have given Auburn...
A little love?
Well, just a little respect. They're not bad either. And
Yeah, you don't want to get Charles Barkley mad at you.
Barkley... He was not even sitting on his chair at the end of that game. He was beaming so much from top
I turned
to
it off
bottom.
because I didn't want to listen to Chuck. I'm sure he had a great time with it.
I love Chuck. You know, it's like the 1 year that when he had on the Chuckcedo. I like the Chuckcedo, and I always stop at the Chuck stop anytime I'm around. Now, how anybody can be so serious and be so funny at the same time is way beyond me. But yeah, I enjoy the Chuckster.
Yeah, all four number ones make it for the first time. Only the second time ever, and the first time since
Yeah.
2008 or 9, I think it was. Yeah, I was a little surprised. The scary part is, I'm in a pool, and out of the 60 games that they've played thus far, one guy's got 54 right.
54 rights.
54 right.
I'm not even near that. But I
mean-
have to say about my brackets, I'm not successful. But my wife is leading the pack.
Oh, for heaven's
And
sakes.
then people say, well, do you give her help? Are you kidding? I wouldn't give that woman a clue for nothing.
I lied. It's only 53 right. I lied.
53.
53.
Out of how many?
Out of 60 games, he's got 53 right.
She's got 7 wrong.
There are 2 with 51, 1 with 50, and there are, I'm just going to count this quick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 9 with 49. Now, I'm just going to say this. If you look at this, where am I at? Hang on 1 second. Be patient with me. Well, I didn't drop this. I did drop that far. I got 44 right. I feel pretty doggone good. 44 out of 60? That's almost 3/4 correct. And if Michigan State had took care of business, it would have been.
How is it you can sit around and read a newspaper every day? You have a general notion of where all the top 20 basketball teams are, and you can only get 44 right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that you have to change your procedure, go with, it's a toss-up between school fight songs and school colors. But, you know,
That's the true way to do it.
that's the only true way to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. A lot of good games. I mean, so we've got Auburn, Houston, Duke, and Florida left.
Yeah.
Let's throw out. Not worry about what we got in our bracket. Who do you think is going to be playing a week from tonight for the national championship, and who wins it? Because obviously they're all great teams. There's no Cinderella in this.
Well, I think I see it's either Auburn and Duke or Houston. And if that case, Duke and Houston will both beat Auburn. If it's Florida, I will have to go just straight with Duke. I think that Duke will beat Florida. Duke and Houston is going to be the game of the deal here. They're going to be really fun to watch.
You know, everybody talks about Duke and talks about Cooper Flagon with good reason.
He is.
He's doggone good, but I think you maybe said it last week. He's not the only person that Duke has. They're a team. The defense is Houston's defense is stifling.
They really are.
So that game with Houston ought to just be whatever. I picked Florida because they were so hot in the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
That's why I picked them to win it all. We got SEC versus SEC, and Boy, like I said, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun, and talk about Cooper Flagg. I said that he was the most dominating freshman guard I've seen in a long time. He's only a freshman. A year ago,
True freshman.
Two freshmen. Yeah, he was playing high school basketball.
Yeah, he has. We talked about Paige Beckers being always getting everybody else involved. Cooper Flagg was learned, taught. I understand. Was learned back somewhere along the way. Was everybody's going to collapse to you because you're good. What do? You dish it.
You dish.
And boy, I'll tell you, if you're a Duke basketball player and your name's not Cooper Flagg, when he puts the ball on the floor and heads towards the basket, you better be ready because that ball is probably coming to you. He's not going to slice through and try to put it through 8 guys or whatever. He's gonna get double teamed, triple teamed. He's gonna flip it to you, and you better dunk the ball.
Well, and that's one of the things. He not only has a sweet shot, he rebounds like a maniac. But he's looking for the assist all the time. So, he's a triple header all the time.
He's a stat sheet filler.
It's like somebody said, let's enjoy watching him play this year, hopefully next year, because after that we aren't going to see him
No,
again. So,
I don't think he'll be available. This is a one and done, baby.
But he's the most exciting young kid on the court.
He'll be playing in the association next year.
Be in the association, whatever it is. He could play on my team anytime he wants. He's an amazing athlete.
Did you watch any of the Wolves last night?
I did watch some of the Wolves.
What did you think of the brawl?
I thought the brawl was interesting, although they come real close to scaring a little kid there. Sitting down and what I mean, and I think it was I don't know. DiVincenzo that wound up laying on the bench, and he's the thing of it is that DiVincenzo he's what? He's 6'9" or something. You're going up against a 7-foot guy, 7'1". You got to be careful because when you're pushing up like that, you got to be careful. Now, Naz. Well, he got into it. They both got kicked out, and the assistant coach got kicked out, and
I didn't really see why the assistant coaches got. I tried to watch it.
I think because he ran out on the court.
Oh yeah, but there was like 47 coaches out on the floor. My God, everybody was in a black shirt and black pants was on the floor.
He was the first one. But and then of course the Piston coach got tossed out, and a couple of their players. But after that, the Wolves came back and just kicked their butt from head to bottom.
Yeah, they talked about that they felt, I saw something on ESPN that somebody was proud of the Pistons for playing the instigator. And I'm like, well, I didn't watch enough of it to know why they would be considered the instigator and why would the Pistons want to instigate something with the Timberwolves who are in the other conference? I guess I don't understand.
I think Reed and Isaiah Stewart got into a conversation at the other end of the court, and they were coming back up, and this was
and he took a pretty good swipe at him.
And he did take a pretty good swipe at him, and it's like one of the things where, to us, they look like tall, skinny guys. They're not that skinny, and they are big. They're not tall, they're big. And and when these guys start swinging those 7-foot arms around, you don't want to get in the way of that. But Gobert says we needed a little something to get us going. Maybe this is it. And it's and so
that's what Nick Schenecker said.
Yeah,
he said, "Now maybe we'll wake up and start playing basketball."
Maybe start And so I know that there's a certain level of intensity when you're playing very, very intense. Anything, you are on the edge. And if somebody said if this turned into a full-size brawl, let it happen. You are right on the edge, and it's not hard at all to step over it. But I like some of the things that the Wolves have been doing lately. I got their shirt on. I got my Wolves shirt on, and that was for the fisticuffs last night.
Yeah, about 2 weeks left in the regular season for the NBA and the NHL, who we'll talk about shortly. I'm going to say this: unless there's a total epic collapse, the Wolves are in the playoffs. Just a matter of where they're going to get seated, and I have to say it this way: I don't really care where they get seated as long as they get in, because I don't think anybody necessarily wants to play them.
No, I don't think they do either.
So I mean, nobody's going, well, oh, we'll take on the Timberwolves and we'll kick their butt. I don't think. Maybe the only ones who might say that is OKC, because they're out of their minds right now, but not even.
And, but you take a look and you know that the Timberwolves, if they're not playing up to it, they're chock full of talent. They've got a lot of talent, one of the most talented teams in the league, and you don't ever want that talent to get synchronized against you, because it's going to be a tough night.
Can I go rogue for like 2 points on two things?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how I don't like LeBron James. Okay, you're aware. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but this continual comparison to Michael Jordan is asinine. But anyway, last week they're playing Indiana on Wednesday night while I'm down at the State AD's conference, right? And I wake up Thursday morning and SportsCenter is like, oh, LeBron James hits the game-winning shot at the buzzer against the Pacers to win, blah, 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 break a 3-game losing streak. And I'm like, oh, he did something really great. He was standing underneath the basket and tipped it. He only had to tip it in. It wasn't even a shot. I'm like, ESPN is so desperate for LeBron James to do something great. He had 13 points in the game.
Did he have a little follow through?
No, it was just this. He just swatted at it. And when you're 6'9", all you gotta do is, you don't even swat it that far. And the other thing is, this was on Facebook over the weekend. LeBron now has 5,367, something close to that number of turnovers in his 20-year career. Okay, 5,000, okay, that seems like a lot. Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't have that many turnovers combined in their entire careers, and Kareem, I think, played for 19 years, and Jordan played for, 15, 16 years? So, all you LeBron James fans who say he's better than Mike, hit the brakes. You're done. Okay.
No, but I mean, when you take a like Mike Jordan and Magic Johnson and the rest of these guys, the reason I remember them is they changed the game. I mean, they just did. To say that Michael Jordan didn't change the game of basketball, you got to be blind. In the same way with Johnson and Kareem started the whole thing. I mean, so, what can I say? I'm an Elgin Baylor fan. I always will be an Elgin Baylor fan, because he changed the game. Bob Cousy, when we were kids, you know what Bob Cousy could do? Pass behind his back. Well,
everybody wanted to pass behind their back.
No, everybody, and I mean everybody, can pass behind their back, and really well too. So these guys have changed the game, and in no small way, so is your good friend LeBron.
Yes, and they were talking about him the other day and saying probably his biggest thing is his longevity. That he has been in the league for 20, 21 years, whatever it is, and really has not had a significant injury.
No,
so there is something to be said about that and all that other stuff. But anyway, did you watch any college hockey this weekend?
Well, I caught bits and pieces of it.
Flipping through?
Yeah. I watched Boston College in Denver, and they were beating the snot out of each other, and so.
Denver makes the Frozen Four for the 6th time in the last 9 years. But they beat number 1 Boston College. I'm sure there's some people out in Boston that we know that aren't happy about that.
No.
Penn State is into the Frozen Four. They beat number 3 Maine. Okay, Cornell, who didn't make the Frozen Four, beat number 2 Michigan State, and Boston University got in. So part of Boston's happy. But that means there's only 16 teams, and out of the top 4 seeds, 3 of them are out, gone. So Denver takes on Western Michigan, who won their NCHC conference opponents. So they'll get to play each other for about the, 6th time this year, I think it's going to be. Western Michigan beat them in the NCHC finals, so they'll get to do it in the semifinals, and then Penn State out of the Big Ten takes on BU, and that'll be a week from Thursday. They get a little time off before they got to go to St. Louis to play that. But I watched probably a fair share of what I could with the hockey. Was exciting. UConn was in there. UConn, ain't they a basketball school? What are they doing? What are they doing in the hockey playoffs? They gave themselves a great chance. Lost in overtime.
Well, 10 years ago, you couldn't have told me that Penn State had a hockey team.
They really didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years ago, that's how much they've grown.
Yeah.
Of course, they were playing in Pennsylvania, so they had lots of people there cheering for them. So exciting weekend. The Wild.
Well, you know, they're going to play the New Jersey Devils tonight, and a rumor has it that the boys are getting ready to come back, and if they can add a little bit to their offense, they can be a dangerous team, because I think their defense is playing pretty well. Gustafson is in the goal. All goalies are playing pretty well right now, so I think they're ready as tournament ready as they can possibly be, you know, and so. We'll see what happens.
Beat Washington on last Thursday night, and I have to say, you know, Ovechkin is chasing Gretzky's record. He's only 5 away from breaking the record now. Gets shut out doesn't score against the Wild, and then what does he do? He skates over to his bench and he tells all his boys, "Get your butts back out here, get out of the tunnel, get out on the ice, and shake Marc-Andre Fleury's hand."
That's what he did.
That's what he did.
I know, I watched him do it, and I just sit around, and there were a couple of guys that were already back in the tunnel, and he called them back out, "Get out here." And you know something? They all did. You know why? Because he said so.
Because he said so. Yeah, and obviously teams have been doing this sometimes throughout the year.
Yeah.
Ovechkin took a step up my ladder with that move.
There
You know, I don't necessarily know if I want him to break Gretzky's record, but he's going to, and the records are there to be broken, and it won't make Gretzky any less than the great one that he is. It'll just show you that Ovechkin, kind of like LeBron James, has been able to stay relatively healthy for a long time, and yeah.
Well, you see him on the ice. I wouldn't want to get in the corner with him.
No.
Could be a serious error.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So, but he's a very physical hockey player and a very good one, and after pulling out, I wish him all the luck.
As I mentioned, the Wild are up and down. A couple weeks left. Good grief! The Royals beat the Brewers 11-1 today.
Well,
the Brewers are going, what the heck? 0-4.
Well, it was like we were talking about that Yankee Brewer game. That was a 20-game run.
20-9.
20-9. You know, and it's just like
it's 29 runs.
29 runs.
That's scary in an MLB game.
First game of the year.
So Wild got a couple weeks left. I'm pretty sure they're going to be in the playoffs. And like I said, just like the Wolves, there's an epic collapse here.
Yeah.
They're in.
But just back to March Madness. The games are on Saturday. They have a day off, and then the championship's April 7th. So there's 3 games left, and then the basketball season will be over. I don't know what I'm going to do after that. I'm getting a new book, though.
Well, the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs start. I know what you're going to be doing. So, I just need to answer this.
Yes, you do.
So that I get this off of my plate. Hey, the Loons won again this weekend, 2-0. So now they're 3-1-2, and like I said, it's not going to be pretty. They're not going to put up 5 goals probably in a game, but they're going to win a lot of 2-1, 2-0, 1-0 soccer games, and if that's what you're into, go Loons. I'm into it. I want to see them do well. I got the Frost down here. Watched a little bit of them play yesterday against Ottawa. Was that yesterday or Saturday? Must have been Saturday. I can't keep track. There was a lot of sports on again.
Yeah, there is.
With the win, they moved into 4th place. Got to be in the top 4, I think, to make the playoffs. I think.
And they played this game. I read a little short synopsis of it this morning, and they're crunching people out there, and you know, and those defensemen are just. Hey, they're not very nice, and you don't want nice defensemen on the ice.
No, you do not.
Yeah. So anyway, I think they're going to have a very successful season. All fingers point that direction.
We'll see. Last year they made it in by the skin of their teeth and won it all. So all you got to do is make the playoffs and see what happens.
That's all you got to do.
Does that blank piece of paper on the top mean we're all done?
Well, that's all I just had a little bit of backwards. I do also have. The starting lineup or the starting roster for the Minnesota Twins here, just in case. When we start at first base, that's your friend Ty France.
Yeah.
Willie Castro, he finished the game today on the pitching mound.
Yes, okay.
and throwing. He was throwing baseballs that you and I could hit. One 36.6 miles an hour.
it did not.
36 miles an hour. I'm not sure that they could even.
That should be against the rules. You can't throw at least 40. You can't pitch.
Yeah, and then we got Carlos Correa and Trevor Laurenbach, Byron Buxton. He got a couple of catches at the
Did he?
first few games that
Okay.
he banged against the wall, but it wasn't like the old days. And then we got Wallner playing right field, and Jeffers at catcher. Although I don't think I saw him catch. Vasquez, I saw catch,
And Miranda at third base.
and Miranda at third base. And that's. I think that they got an issue at second base, and I think they got an issue at third base.
Brooks Lee will come back and take care of your issue at second base, and Royce Lewis will come back and take care of your issue at third base.
Yeah, so all they got to do is come back
If they can.
if they can.
Couple of shout outs here. Again, we always end the show. Jeff Veter passed away this past week, and condolences to the boys and to Marge and his family. 1974 graduate, does that sound right?
That's about right.
That's about right.
about right.
In there with the Roger Jeromes and that crew of the world, and was a Bronco player. And then, of course, I don't know if you heard about this one, but a recent graduate here, Christian Huffnagel, was in an accident skiing on Saturday and passed away. 21 years old. Played with the Bronco football team, and so I found that out this morning. And that one.
That's hard.
Christian always made an effort especially after he graduated, to come over and say hi to me at the games or whenever he saw me, tell me how he was doing. He loved his job, loved what he was doing, and just was always a smile on his face. And so that one on a busy day really upset me. Anybody 21 years old doesn't need that to happen.
No, in fact, we were talking about Jeff today, my wife and I says, I remember his oldest son, Jake. He played football for me. We put him in an end, and I would run him in motion and watch the people on the defense with their eyes getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because he was about 6'4", and he was really pieced together even in the 9th grade. He never really hit anybody really hard, because if he did, it would have been game over for him. But I remember put him in motion and watch people just shudder in fear. He was a great kid. Just
Great kid.
A great
Both
kid.
of them.
Both of them.
Joe and Jake both.
Yeah.
I said so. Condolences out to all those families. Tough stretch here.
It is
for the Falls. I just I hope that I hope it ends. We need better news coming around.
We do.
Are we all done?
I'm all done. You anything else?
We'll talk to you next week. Thanks, everybody.